So let's start with a political question. In fact, at the WTO Director General gave it away when he said, why is Piyush Goyal not come for WTO yet? So he says, you see, he's very busy. He's fighting an election. So they've announced it even before the BJP at the WTO. So maybe you want to
We've
tell me
been
that.
fighting elections ever since the day I was born, probably.
The Lok Sabha election.
But I think these are decisions the party takes. We have a party parliamentary board which makes all these decisions. I can only tell you I would love to fight the election.
Oh, great.
If the party gives me an opportunity.
Great. That's a good headline to start with. Piyush Goyal says he's going to be excited to fight the election if the party gives him an opportunity.
Maybe you have the 15 years stable government.
100%. We'll have 15 years. We may have even longer.
Okay, hi. But it could be the 20 years.
Maybe.
Okay.
If you have actually a reformist, a leadership with a vision, with a commitment, with a sense of wanting to do things, but that leadership is backed by a very strong political mandate.
My question is about the coming general election. The result of the election will affect the Indian diplomacy, as it is likely you will have the long-term government, maybe 15 years long-term government can pursue the stable negotiation with other countries. So could you answer this question?
Sorry, I didn't fully understand that. Your point was that we have a stable government?
So you will have the, maybe you will have the 15 years stable government.
100%. We'll have 15 years. We may have even longer.
Okay, hi. But it could be the 20 years.
Maybe.
Okay. So could you answer the question, please?
It's again, I want to first begin by saying every country, every society is different. So what can apply to India need not always be the same for other countries. But our own experience was that the lack of stability in politics, which really meant to have majorities in parliament, to take decisions, to take bold steps. It makes a very, very big difference. When I look, I've been in government, frankly, a very long time. I've seen many, many governments. I've seen majority governments. I've seen minority governments. I've seen coalition governments. I've seen single-party governments. You can see today that if you have actually a reformist, a leadership with a vision, with a commitment, with a sense of wanting to do things, but that leadership is backed by a very strong political mandate. And a strong political mandate, ideally in democracies, means having a majority in parliament. That is really what is the combination you need, because you can have a majority but you don't have a vision, or you have a vision but you don't have the political support. So you need both. Now, what has happened in our case is certainly for the last 10 years we've had both, and we hope to continue that. In many cases we have seen decisions which were debated for years, but suddenly you found the ability to do it. One good example for us, for example, was a sort of a national, tax system, because our tax, because it was so regional, it was very complicated and frankly not even very efficient. I would say, we had some very long-standing issues regarding integration of one of our states. So we have been able to take good decisions, tough decisions, but needed decisions. Once you have both that leadership and that mandate, and that means long-term stability. And I would even say, as someone who has a little bit of insight into the business world today very much values political stability, because for them, political stability means policy stability. Anybody who's coming...
Welcome back, viewers. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a mega road show in his home turf, Varanasi. He went on to offer prayers at Kashi Vishwanath Temple along with Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Take a look at this report.
Excitement, exuberance, and elation gripped Varanasi, with Prime Minister Modi holding a 28-kilometer-long grand roadshow in his home turf. Hundreds thronged to showcase their support to their leader.
बहुत अच्छा लगा, मोदी जी आए हैं, हम लोगों को बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। इस बार वे यहीं से जीत के भी जाएंगे।
सारे काशी वाले मानते हैं कि मोदी का, सब लोग का, हर काशी का एक एक बच्चा मोदी का परिवार है।
बनास के आदमी जो है सोचते हैं कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का काशीवासी हार्दिक अभिनंदन करते हैं और इस हर बार मोदी की सरकार होनी चाहिए।
Prime Minister Modi, flanked by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, visited the Kashi Vishwanath Temple. A day after Mahashivratri, PM Modi offered prayers at the temple. PM Modi's visit to Varanasi came with the Lok Sabha polls just weeks away. He will be contesting from Varanasi for the third straight time. With India's most popular and credible politician helming the poll campaigns, BJP is now a formidable electoral machine. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Time to slip into a very short break. Coming up on the other side, Prime Minister Modi to visit Akhilesh's stronghold Azamgarh ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. Chandrababu Naidu officially rejoins NDA 6 years after snapping ties. Sources say BJP contests on 6 Lok Sabha seats, TDP on 7 seats in Andhra Pradesh.
पूरे देश में विकसित राज्य से विकसित भारत, इसका एक राष्ट्रीय उत्सव तेज गति से जारी है। आज मुझे विकसित नॉर्थ ईस्ट के इस उत्सव में नॉर्थ ईस्ट के सभी राज्यों के साथ एक साथ हिस्सेदार बनने का अवसर मिला है। नॉर्थ ईस्ट के विकास के लिए हमारा विजन अष्टलक्ष्मी का रहा है। साउथ एशिया और ईस्ट एशिया के साथ भारत के ट्रेड, टूरिज्म और दूसरे रिश्तों की एक मजबूत कड़ी, ये हमारा नॉर्थ ईस्ट बनने जा रहा है। मोदी की गारंटी, मोदी की गारंटी, ये तो सुन ही रहे हैं आप लोग। लेकिन मोदी की गारंटी का मतलब क्या होता है, ये जरा अरुणाचल में आएंगे ना, इतने दूर सुदूर आपको साक्षात नजर आएगा। पूरा नॉर्थ ईस्ट देख रहा है कि मोदी की गारंटी कैसे काम कर रही है। अब देखिए 2019 में यहीं से मैंने सेला टनल का शिलान्यास करने का काम किया था, याद है ना, 2019 में। और आज क्या हुआ, बन गया कि नहीं बन गया, बन गया कि नहीं बन गया? क्या इसको गारंटी कहते हैं कि नहीं कहते हैं? ये गारंटी पक्की गारंटी है कि नहीं है? साथियों, कांग्रेस ने तो बॉर्डर के गांवों को भी नजरअंदाज कर रखा था। उन्हें देश का अंतिम गांव कहकर अपने हाल पर छोड़ दिया था। हमने इन्हें आखिरी गांव नहीं, मेरे लिए तो ये देश का प्रथम गांव है, प्रथम फर्स्ट विलेज, और हमने प्रथम गांव माना और वाइब्रेंट विलेज प्रोग्राम शुरू कर दिया। एक तरफ मोदी विकसित भारत के निर्माण के लिए एक एक ईंट जोड़कर युवाओं के बेहतर फ्यूचर के लिए दिन रात काम कर रहा है। वहीं दूसरी तरफ, और मैं दिन रात कहता हूं तो मुझसे ज्यादा लोग कहते हैं कि मोदी जी इतना काम मत करो। आज ही मैं अरुणाचल प्रदेश, आसाम, बंगाल और उत्तर प्रदेश 4 राज्य में कार्यक्रम करने वाला हूं एक दिन में। वहीं दूसरी तरफ कांग्रेस के इंडी गठबंधन के परिवारवादी नेताओं ने, जब ये मैं काम कर रहा हूं ना, तो उन्होंने जरा मोदी पर हमले बढ़ा दिए हैं। और आजकल लोग पूछ रहे हैं कि मोदी का परिवार कौन है? कौन है मोदी का परिवार? कौन है मोदी का परिवार? कौन है मोदी का परिवार? कान खोल के सुनो गाली देने वालों, ये अरुणाचल के पहाड़ों में रहने वाले हर परिवार कह रहा है ये मोदी का परिवार है। मोदी के बाद से लेकर 2014 तक नॉर्थ ईस्ट में, यह आंकड़ा याद रखिए, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में 10,000 किलोमीटर नेशनल हाईवे बनाए गए थे, यानी 7 दशक में। जबकि बीते 10 वर्षों में, सिर्फ 10 वर्षों में 6,000 किलोमीटर से अधिक नेशनल हाईवे बनाए गए हैं। जितना काम 7 दशक में हुआ, उतना मैंने 1 दशक में करीब करीब किए दिया है। 2014 के बाद नॉर्थ ईस्ट में करीब 2,000 किलोमीटर नई रेल लाइन बनी है। पावर सेक्टर में भी अभूतपूर्व काम हुआ है। आज ही अरुणाचल में दिबांग मल्टीपर्पज हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट और त्रिपुरा में एक सोलर प्रोजेक्ट पर काम शुरू हुआ है। दिबांग डैम देश का सबसे ऊंचा डैम होने वाला है, यानी भारत के सबसे बड़े पुल की तरह ही सबसे बड़े डैम की उपलब्धि भी नॉर्थ ईस्ट को मिलने जा रही है।
Asif Ali Zardari has been elected as the 14th president of Pakistan. Zardari secured 411 votes from national and provincial lawmakers. U.S. President Joe Biden and Donald Trump are holding dueling poll campaigns in Georgia, a state that both parties see as pivotal to winning in upcoming elections. U.S. President Joe Biden warned of dire consequences for America if former U.S. President Donald Trump wins another term in the White House. U.S. Air Force released 88 bundles of humanitarian aid containing food and water over the northern part of Gaza Strip. Anti-government protesters calling for a new Israeli government scuffled with Israeli security forces in Tel Aviv. Hello and welcome. You're watching the Morning Express with me, Gini Nurula. Now, in its annual session of the National People's Congress, Chinese ministers gathered to discuss the economic crisis that currently grips the nation. Leaders discussed Beijing's plans to tackle rising unemployment, especially in the face of widening demand-supply gap in the labor market. Talks were also held on how to stabilize the real estate market in China. Here's more in this report.
At the annual session of China's National People Congress, Human Resource Minister Wang Xiaoping addressed concerns about the rising unemployment crisis in the country. He stated that the pressure on full employment remains unchanged.
就业总量压力不减，结构性矛盾仍待破解。部分劳动者就业面临一些困难问题，稳就业还需付出更多的努力。
With nearly 11.8 million college graduates expected this year, Wang said that Beijing is committed to increasing support for new job seekers.
加强对就业容量大的民营经济、中小微企业、各类经营主体的支持，大力培育数字经济、银发经济、绿色经济等就业新的增长点，进一步加大担保贷款、税费减免、场地安排等扶持支持，释放创业。
China's economic woes is not limited to just its labor market. Beijing is chalking comprehensive plans to even stabilize its real estate sector.
就业总量。
China's Minister of Housing and Urban-Rural Development has urged local authorities to take responsibility for optimizing real estate policies to address the downturn in the property market.
已经充分赋予了城市调控的自主权，那城市政府就要扛起责任，要根据人口的情况、供需的情况以及保障的需求，编制好。 实施好住房的发展规划，因城施策，优化房地产的政策，来稳定。
Additionally, the chief of China's National Disease Control and Prevention Administration addressed preparations for future pandemics at the same news conference. Drawing on the experience of COVID-19 prevention and control, he expressed the need for proactive measures to prepare for potential future threats like disease X.
止步抵债，失去经营能力的房企，要按照法治化、市场化的原则，该破产的破产，该重组的重组。对于有损害群众利益的行为，坚决依法查处，让他们付出应有的代价。
With China facing mounting challenges to get its economy on track, what impact will this leave on its long-term development and growth? Agency Report, Republic TV.
Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba was straightforward in expressing Europe's inconsistent defense support for his country during a news conference. Speaking in Vilnius, Lithuania, where he participated in a meeting of the foreign ministers of France, Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia, Kuleba emphasized that the incremental aid to Ukraine was no longer effective.
Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba did not mince words about Europe's patchy defense support of his country in a news conference. Kuleba emphasized that the drop-by-drop aid to Ukraine was no longer effective.
I want all our partners to know that we are extremely grateful for what you have done for Ukraine. But the strategy of dripping aid to Ukraine drop by drop doesn't work anymore. It's over. And if things continue as they currently happen, it's not gonna end well for all of us. What is required is an unrestricted and timely supply of all types of weapons and ammunition to ensure that Ukraine beats Russia and the war in Europe does not spill over.
He emphasized that what Ukraine needed at the moment was unrestricted supply of weapons and ammunition.
We welcome the adoption of the European Defence Industrial Strategy, 2 years since the war began, and 1 year since Ukraine started yelling and crying on every corner that the production of weapons must be ramped up at the pan-European level and not on a single nation level. We hope that the strategy will be implemented on time and in full scale.
He further denounced the European Peace Facility and urged them to resolve their differences.
I have to admit that what is happening with the European Peace Facility is a shame. And I once again urge all countries, all friends, all partners, on behalf of every Ukrainian soldier who is fighting today, to finally resolve your differences and come to a decision which will allow you to help us to stop the war in Ukraine and avoid a situation where you will have to make decisions at a completely different scale and tragedy to defend your own villages, towns, and territories.
Kuleba warned that if the current situation persists, the outcome will be unfavorable for everyone involved. Agency report, Republic TV.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited an Istanbul shipyard to examine two corvettes being constructed by for the Ukrainian naval forces. Now, the warships are being built in accordance with the strategy for the development of the naval forces of Ukraine's armed forces.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky toured an Istanbul shipyard and inspected two corvettes that are under construction for the country. The two ADA-class corvettes, expected to be the country's first fully fledged warships, are being built by Turkish shipbuilder RMK Marine. The construction is being overseen by a special detachment of the Ukrainian Navy stationed in Istanbul to learn about the ships firsthand. During his visit to the shipyard, Zelensky also handed out medals to Ukrainian servicemen stationed in Istanbul.
Бажаю здоров'я, хлопці. Перш за все, радий сьогодні бути тут, в Туреччині. Подякувати вам за службу і подякувати нашим партнерам за те, що в нашому партнерстві разом з нами будують такий прекрасний корвет. Ви знаєте, що ми очікуємо вас в Україні.
As Ukraine reels under continuous attacks from Russia, the warships are an invaluable asset to the naval might of the country. Agency report, Republic TV.
Now, in news and wrap from across the globe, as the Israel-Hamas ceasefire negotiations continue, multiple planes dropped humanitarian supplies into the Gaza Strip. The operations were jointly carried out by Jordan, Egypt, US, France, and Belgium. The US military will deploy about 1,000 troops to transport and build a floating pier on the Gaza shore in order to get critically needed food and aid delivered to citizens there. Israel's strikes hit civilian building in central Gaza after its warplanes struck a high-rise residential building in southern Gaza's Rafah. Around 300 to 400 residents of the building were evacuated just minutes before the strike hit the residential structure. IDF claims to have killed at least a dozen Hamas militants in the Gaza Strip during an airstrike. The IDF footage shows destruction of infrastructure used by Hamas terrorists. US President Joe Biden warned that it would be tough to secure a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas by Ramadan. Biden added that he was worried about the possibility of violence in East Jerusalem that often sees heightened Israeli-Palestinian tensions linked to access to a major holy site. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan piled on his rhetoric against Israel, referring to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his government as today's Nazis. He further went on to compare the Israeli administration with World War II era dictators. Houthi rebels have claimed responsibility of attacking a U.S. warship with a 37-drone barrage in the Gulf of Aden. U.S. Navy says all projectiles launched against it were shot down and reported no damage. This comes as Houthis have upped their attacks in the Gulf since the beginning of the Israel-Hamas conflict. Thousands of Muslims rallied outside the U.S. Embassy in the Indonesian capital of Jakarta to call for a ceasefire in Gaza ahead of the start of Muslim holy month of Ramadan. More than 3,000 protesters marched up to the streets outside the embassy amid heavy guard. Prime ministers of Chile and Spain have called for an end to the conflicts in Gaza and Ukraine. The leaders also condemned the Hamas attack on Israel and said that international law needs to be respected in these conflicts. A Russian aerial guided bomb hit a residential building in Ukraine's Kherson region. Authorities report a 7-year-old child after the building was knocked down by the missile. The call for ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war is only echoing louder in the international community. This time, large groups of Muslim protesters took to the streets of Jakarta expressing discontent for the U.S. given its support for Israel in the war. As tensions escalate in the Middle East, concerns grow worldwide over the devastating humanitarian crisis that currently grips Gaza. Take a look at this report.
Thousands of Muslims gathered outside the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta in support of Palestine. Their demonstration ahead of the start of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan aimed to draw attention to the ongoing conflict in Gaza. More than 3,000 protesters carrying Palestinian flags and banners marched through the streets. They echoed only one message: denounce America's support for Israel and push for more aid routes into Gaza.
Jangan terlelah untuk menyuarakan betapa Israel adalah negara teroris dan karena harus dihentikan terorismenya dan harus karenanya masa internasional memberikan sanksi hukum dan memutihkan Israel, mengeluarkannya dari beragam organisasi internasional.
Areas surrounding the U.S. Embassy remained heavily guarded as protesters made their voices heard.
Sehingga kita berusaha untuk menghentikan segala bentuk blokade dan segala macamnya sehingga bantuan pasokan makanan yang dari pihak luar yang bantuan-bantuan dari berbagai wilayah negara itu bisa masuk ke wilayah yang diduduki oleh Israel sekarang.
Even as the Middle Eastern conflict reflects no signs of a ceasefire, the call for peace grows strongly in the world's most populous Muslim majority nation. Agency report, Republic TV.
Time to slip in a very short break. Coming up on the other side, Asif Ali Zardari has been elected as the 14th president of Pakistan. Zardari secured 411 votes from national and provincial lawmakers. U.S. Air Force released 88 bundles of humanitarian aid containing food and water over the northern part of Gaza Strip.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 11th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
साथियों, आप भी जानते हैं कि ये समय वैश्विक अनिश्चितताओं और अस्थिरता का समय है और एक्सपर्ट्स कह रहे हैं कि सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद ये सबसे अधिक अस्थिर समय अनुभव हो रहा है। उसकी तीव्रता भी और उसका स्प्रेड भी पूरी दुनिया में कई सरकारों को सत्ता विरोधी लहर का सामना करना पड़ रहा है, लेकिन इन सब के बीच भारत एक सशक्त लोकतंत्र के रूप में विश्वास की किरण बना हुआ है। मैं आशा की किरण नहीं कह रहा हूं, मैं विश्वास की किरण बहुत जिम्मेवारी के साथ बोल रहा हूं। और ये स्थितियां तब है जब हमने देश में बहुत सारे रिफॉर्म्स भी किए हैं। भारत ने ये साबित किया है कि गुड इकोनॉमिक्स के साथ ही गुड पॉलिटिक्स भी हो सकती है। साथियों, आज एक वैश्विक जिज्ञासा, ग्लोबल क्यूरियोसिटी है कि भारत ने ये कैसे किया। ये इसलिए हुआ क्योंकि हमेशा सिक्के के किसी भी पहलू को नजरअंदाज नहीं किया। ये इसलिए हुआ क्योंकि हमने देश की जरूरतें भी पूरी की और सपने भी पूरे किए। ये इसलिए हुआ क्योंकि हमने समृद्धि पर भी ध्यान दिया और सशक्तिकरण पर भी काम किया। जैसे हमने कॉरपोरेट टैक्स में रिकॉर्ड कमी की, लेकिन हमने ये भी सुनिश्चित किया कि पर्सनल इनकम पर भी टैक्स कम से कम हो। आज हम हाईवे, रेलवे, एयरवे, वाटरवे के निर्माण पर रिकॉर्ड इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन साथ ही हम गरीबों के लिए करोड़ों घर भी बनवा रहे हैं। उन्हें मुफ्त इलाज, मुफ्त राशन की सुविधा दे रहे हैं। हमने मेक इन इंडिया की पीएलआई स्कीम्स में छूट दी तो किसानों को बीमा से सुरक्षा और आय बढ़ाने के साधन भी दिए हैं। हम टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन पर बड़ा इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन इसके साथ हमने युवाओं के स्किल डेवलपमेंट पर भी हजारों करोड़ रुपए खर्च किए हैं।
अगला सवाल आपके मंत्रालय से जुड़ा हुआ सवाल मेरा यह है कि पिछले 5 साल में गृह मंत्रालय ने FCRA यानी कि फॉरेन कंट्रीब्यूशन रेगुलेशन एक्ट को लेकर बहुत सख्त कार्रवाई की है। होम मिनिस्ट्री का अपना डेटा है कि 16,000 एनजीओ जो है उनके FCRA लाइसेंस को कैंसिल किया गया है। उसके साथ साथ टेरर फंडिंग, एनजीओ फंडिंग पर रोकने की कोशिश हुई है, लेकिन शायद पूरी सफलता नहीं मिली। इसके पीछे स्ट्रेटेजी क्या है? एक तो जो ओवरग्राउंड और अंडरग्राउंड सेल होते हैं, नेक्सस है, इसके फॉर्मूले को तोड़ने की कोशिश है या एनजीओस को टारगेट किया जा रहा है, वो कहते हैं। तो इस पर अगर आप
देखिए
अपनी
अटल जी, आप दो चीजों को मिक्सअप कर रहे हैं।
अच्छा,
FCRA को हमने कानून में परिवर्तन किया। कानून को में परिवर्तन करने का हमारा उद्देश्य था कि FCRA का उपयोग कर विदेशों से चंदा लाकर, डोनेशन लाकर इस देश की डेमोग्राफी को बदलने का प्रयास नहीं होना चाहिए। एक, सेवा के लिए अगर कोई पैसा भेजता है, सेवा कार्य के लिए करता है, व्यक्ति समूह के उत्थान के लिए भेजता है, तो उसका स्वागत है। हमने कठोर नियम बनाए, ऑडिट कंपलसरी किया और
Welcome back, viewers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the world's longest bi-lane and strategic tunnel in Arunachal Pradesh. The engineering marvel aims to provide an all-weather connectivity to Tawang bordering China. The inauguration comes a day after China's stern reply to India amid the diplomatic standoff between the two nations. Take a look at this report.
Prime Prime Minister Modi has been unstoppable when it comes to development push. The nation got the world's largest bi-lane tunnel as Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the strategically significant Sela tunnel. Prime Minister Modi launched a scathing attack on Congress, saying that it deliberately kept the borders underdeveloped.
2019 में यहीं से मैंने सेला टनल का शिलान्यास करने का काम किया था, याद है ना? 2019 में। और आज क्या हुआ? बन गया कि नहीं बन गया? बन गया कि नहीं बन गया? क्या इसको गारंटी कहते हैं कि नहीं कहते हैं? ये गारंटी पक्की गारंटी है कि नहीं है?
The engineering marvel was established at a cost of rupees 825 crores in 2019. The 12 kilometers long project features 2 tunnels and a link road. Situated at an elevation exceeding 13,000 feet, the single-tube tunnel is 980 meters long, while the twin-tube tunnel is 1,555 meters long. The link road between the 2 tunnels spans 1,200 meters. The tunnel connects Tezpur to Tawang, near the line of actual control with China, reducing the time travel by more than 90 minutes. The tunnel will provide access to Tawang and other forward areas bordering China, enhancing the strategic and operational capabilities of the Indian Army. The Sela tunnel will result in an easier movement for military personnel and equipment throughout the year. Will the Sela tunnel put an end to Indo-China military standoff? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Time to slip into a very short break. Coming up on the other side, Prime Minister Modi to visit Akhilesh's stronghold Azamgarh ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. Chandrababu Naidu officially rejoins NDA 6 years after snapping ties. Sources say BJP to contest on 6 Lok Sabha seats, TDP on 7 seats in Andhra Pradesh. This and much more after a very short break. Stay tuned, viewers.
पूरे देश में विकसित राज्य से विकसित भारत, इसका एक राष्ट्रीय उत्सव तेज गति से जारी है। आज मुझे विकसित नॉर्थ ईस्ट के इस उत्सव में नॉर्थ ईस्ट के सभी राज्यों के साथ एक साथ हिस्सेदार बनने का अवसर मिला है। नॉर्थ ईस्ट के विकास के लिए हमारा विजन अष्टलक्ष्मी का रहा है। साउथ एशिया और ईस्ट एशिया के साथ भारत के ट्रेड, टूरिज्म और दूसरे रिश्तों की एक मजबूत कड़ी, ये हमारा नॉर्थ ईस्ट बनने जा रहा है। मोदी की गारंटी, ये तो सुन ही रहे हैं आप लोग। लेकिन मोदी की गारंटी का मतलब क्या होता है, ये जरा अरुणाचल में आएंगे ना, इतने दूर सुदूर आपको साक्षात नजर आएगा। पूरा नॉर्थ ईस्ट देख रहा है कि मोदी की गारंटी कैसे काम कर रही है। अब देखिए 2019 में यहीं से मैंने सेला टनल का शिलान्यास करने का काम किया था, याद है ना? 2019 में। और आज क्या हुआ? बन गया कि नहीं बन गया? बन गया कि नहीं बन गया? क्या इसको गारंटी कहते हैं कि नहीं कहते हैं? ये गारंटी पक्की गारंटी है कि नहीं है? साथियों, कांग्रेस ने तो बॉर्डर के गांवों को भी नजरअंदाज कर रखा था। उन्हें देश का अंतिम गांव कहकर अपने हाल पर छोड़ दिया था। हमने इन्हें आखिरी गांव नहीं, मेरे लिए तो ये देश का प्रथम गांव है, प्रथम फर्स्ट विलेज, और हमने प्रथम गांव माना और वाइब्रेंट विलेज प्रोग्राम शुरू कर दिया। एक तरफ मोदी विकसित भारत के निर्माण के लिए एक एक ईंट जोड़कर युवाओं के बेहतर फ्यूचर के लिए दिन रात काम कर रहा है। वहीं दूसरी तरफ, और मैं दिन रात कहता हूं तो मुझसे ज्यादा लोग कहते हैं कि मोदी जी इतना काम मत करो। आज ही मैं अरुणाचल प्रदेश, आसाम, बंगाल और उत्तर प्रदेश 4 राज्य में कार्यक्रम करने वाला हूं एक दिन में। वहीं दूसरी तरफ कांग्रेस के इंडी गठबंधन के परिवारवादी नेताओं ने, जब ये मैं काम कर रहा हूं ना, तो उन्होंने जरा मोदी पर हमले बढ़ा दिए हैं। और आजकल लोग पूछ रहे हैं कि मोदी का परिवार कौन है? कौन है मोदी का परिवार? कौन है मोदी का परिवार? कौन है मोदी का परिवार? कान खोल के सुनो गाली देने वालों, ये अरुणाचल के पहाड़ों में रहने वाले हर परिवार कह रहा है ये मोदी का परिवार है। मोदी के बाद से लेकर 2014 तक नॉर्थ ईस्ट में, यह आंकड़ा याद रखिए, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में 10,000 किलोमीटर नेशनल हाईवे बनाए गए थे, यानी 7 दशक में। जबकि बीते 10 वर्षों में, सिर्फ 10 वर्षों में 6,000 किलोमीटर से अधिक नेशनल हाईवे बनाए गए हैं। जितना काम 7 दशक में हुआ, उतना मैंने 1 दशक में करीब करीब किए दिया है। 2014 के बाद नॉर्थ ईस्ट में करीब 2,000 किलोमीटर नई रेल लाइन बनी है। पावर सेक्टर में भी अभूतपूर्व काम हुआ है। आज ही अरुणाचल में
Very good morning and thank you for tuning in. You're watching Live and Breaking at 9. I am Suesha Sawant. We get you all the top stories making news this Sunday morning. First, a quick check of the headlines we're tracking. It is a super Sunday. Prime Minister Modi to visit Akhilesh's stronghold Azamgarh ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. In a big boost to the aviation sector, Prime Minister to inaugurate 15 airport projects worth more than 10,000 crore rupees across the country. In an unprecedented move, just weeks before the polls, Arun Goyal tenders his resignation as Election Commissioner. The poll panel has now 2 vacancies. 10-day remand of Mamta-backed mafia Don Shahjahan ends today. CBI officials set to produce the accused at Bosherhat Court at 12 p.m. DMK finalizes seat sharing formula with the Congress. Congress gets 9 seats in Tamil Nadu as DMK repeats 2019 formula. Chandrababu Naidu officially rejoins the NDA 6 years after snapping ties. Sources say BJP to contest on 6 Lok Sabha seats, TDP on 7 seats in Andhra Pradesh. And first up, we cut across to breaking news coming in. Election Commissioner Arun Goyal resigned on Saturday, days before the expected announcement of the schedule for the Lok Sabha elections, most likely to be held in April-May this year. His resignation was accepted by President Draupadi Murmu. It was not immediately known as to why he stepped down, but this is leading to a lot of speculation. We'll try and have one of my colleagues join us to give us the inside details of what exactly is going on behind Election Commissioner Arun Goyal. The timing in specific is questionable because this is just weeks ahead of when the Election Commission was to announce the schedule for the Lok Sabha elections. The most likelihood we're hearing that it could be in April-May this year, but just weeks to go for the Lok Sabha elections, and Arun Goyal has put down his papers. And we cut across to more breaking news coming in. Congress politics is abuzz following the resignation of the Chief Election Commissioner. Jairam Ramesh has raised questions about the CEC's decision to resign, speculating whether Arun Goyal will now contest on a BJP ticket. Ramesh's inquiry adds to the growing uncertainty surrounding Goyal's unexpected resignation. Meanwhile, KC Venugopal expressed that the entire nation is anxious about the developments, highlighting the widespread interest and concern regarding this political development. Listen in to the reactions that have come in.
That is quite shocking. Just before the election declaration, Election Commission has been resigned from that post. Now only one Chief Election Commissioner is there to conduct the election. What is happening in this Election Commission? The entire country is anxious. I think that this government of India didn't want a free and fair election at all. Earlier they changed the Chief Justice from the selection body of the Election Commissioner and Commissioner. In place of Chief Justice of India, they put a cabinet minister. Now Election Commission become, the decision of making Election Commission become one of the government affair. Now, surprisingly, just before the elections declaration, one of the Election Commission is also resigned. This is shocking news for the country. Total transparency lost in this process. How can we believe in this process?
देखिए 8 महीने से विपक्ष की पार्टियां, इंडिया जनबंधन की पार्टियां टाइम मांग रहे हैं चुनाव आयोग से कि वीवीपैट जो पेपर ट्रेल होता है, क्योंकि हमारे देश में ईवीएम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन नहीं है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मैनिपुलेशन होता है, तो उसको घटाने के लिए और जनता का जो विश्वास है हमारी चुनावी प्रणाली में बढ़ाने के लिए हमने वीवीपैट की मांग की है 100%, पर हमें टाइम ही नहीं मिल रहा है। चुनाव आयोग हमें मिलने से इनकार कर रहा है। एक निष्पक्ष संस्था, संवैधानिक संस्था, हमारा लोकतांत्रिक हक बनता है टाइम मांगने का, 8 महीने से हमें मिलने से इनकार कर दिया है। तो चुनाव आयोग एक निष्पक्ष संस्था होनी चाहिए, संवैधानिक संस्था है। कल अरुण गोयल जी ने इस्तीफा दिया है। मेरे मन में 3 कारण आए। पहला कारण, क्या उनके और मुख्य इलेक्शन कमिश्नर के बीच में कुछ मतभेद आ गए हैं? क्या उनके और मोदी सरकार जो फ्रंट सीट में बैठकर ड्राइविंग करती है सवरी संवैधानिक संस्थाओं की, क्या उनके बीच में कुछ मतभेद आ गए हैं? दूसरा मेरे मन में ये आया, व्यक्तिगत कारण हो सकते हैं, व्यक्तिगत कारण बिल्कुल हो सकते हैं उसकी वजह से। पर तीसरा कारण ये भी मेरे मन में आया, अभी कलकत्ता के हाई कोर्ट के जज ने इस्तीफा दे दिया और अगले दिन बीजेपी में वो शामिल हो गए और बीजेपी की चुनाव लड़ने की उन्होंने घोषणा की। क्या ये इलेक्शन कमिश्नर भी इस्तीफा दिया है ताकि वो चुनाव लड़े बीजेपी की टिकट पर? ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है।
Cutting across to Harsha, who's joining us on the phone line. While Harsha, some reports suggest that Arun Goyal has stated personal reasons for his resignation. These reports also suggest that there were differences on file between Mr. Goyal and Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar. What's the inside story?
As you mentioned that there were reports of the misunderstanding and lack of communication between both election commissioner and Arun Goyal, the election commissioner, because there were differences. There were few things which Arun Goyal was going through from past 1 and 2 months, and the speculation were that he will resign. But it was speculated that he could resign in the month of April or May after the announcement of Lok Sabha elections. But it didn't happen like that. So it's just a week before the announcement of Lok Sabha elections and a week before the model code of conduct that Arun Goyal, the election commissioner, has resigned. Now the three-member panel of the election commissioner, which is election commissioner Rajiv Kumar, Arun Goyal and Anup Pandey, it is left with only one person, which is election commissioner, because Anup Pandey retired last month. Arun Goyal has resigned. So it is utter shock for the nation because everyone is anxiously waiting for the date of announcement for the Lok Sabha election, and this news has come as a shocker. And also politics is now erupted over this. Now on one side, Congress leaders are speculating that he will be joining BJP. On the other side, TMC leader Saket Gokhale has stated that it has been done intentionally on the behest of government, because now the panel is consisted by one cabinet minister and leader of opposition. Now the major deployment and appointment will be done by Prime Minister himself. So now we see that how politics has also erupted over this. But what we know is that it is a shock, because now Rajiv Kumar, if there's no appointment of a new election commissioner in this week, then the announcement of the Lok Sabha election could be done only by the Rajiv Kumar. So this is the news which is coming in. So more politics today we can see over this, as more Congress leaders are hitting hard at government because of the resignation of Arun Goyal. Back to you.
All right, Harsha, many thanks for getting us all those details. Moving on, Sheikh Shahjahan, the alleged mafia don, is scheduled to be produced in the Bashirhat court today. The 10-day remand of Shahjahan concludes, and a CBI team that is set to present him in court. The appearance of Mafia Don in court is expected at 12 p.m. This is the latest that we are just receiving. Remember, he is the man who is being shielded by the Mamata government all along, who later had to take a U-turn given the uprising and the revolt that the TMC government had to face because of giving this man a clean chit. And while the TMC government is adamant that the man should not be handed over to the central agencies as is being tried by the ED and the CBI, today being an important day when Sheikh Shahjahan is scheduled to be produced in the Bashirhat court. This is to happen at 12 p.m. today. We are yet to get details of what is likely to happen in court and if the custody may just be extended. Let me cut across to Saikat, who's joining us live from Bashirhat. Saikat, give us details firstly of the kind of security apparatus that is expected given how Sheikh Shahjahan is much in question and how he will be produced in court physically or virtually. Also, secondly, to understand from you what is expected to happen in court. Is there a likely possibility that the custody may be extended, this even as the central agencies are trying to get hold of the man?
Yeah, actually, full-time custody already prior from state police previously, and 10 days custody. After 10 days custody, now CBI custody. CBI will produce Sheikh Shahjahan at Bashirhat court today, and they are on way to Bashirhat court. Sheikh Shahjahan has been taken to the Bashirhat court by the CBI right now, and as per sources, they will submit a prayer of further 4 days custody, because full-time custody, 14 days custody, and 4 days as rest at this custody time period, and they are on way to take Sheikh Shahjahan at Bashirhat court. And as per sources, CBI also will submit a prayer for transfer this case to Kolkata CBI court, because Bashirhat court area is quite far from
Nizam Palace, Kolkata. For safety and security measures, safety and security purpose, CBI can file a petition to transfer this matter, transfer this case at Kolkata CBI court. However, right now we are passing the Ghatakpukur Bazaar area. We are moving. CBI is moving towards Bashirhat court. They will produce Sheikh Shahjahan, and as per sources, they will submit a prayer of further 4 days custody. And yesterday, the medical process of Sheikh Shahjahan completed, and yesterday CBI interrogate Sheikh Shahjahan to get the actual cause of this matter on 5th January. What happened at